Yo, what up? I'm back. Still morning here in California around 9:30 a.m. I'll be working later today, not at the moment though. Before I go to work, I want to also address this. I talked about Jonathan Majors earlier on that other video that you just saw. Now I'm going to talk about the video, my reaction to uh, the interview that broke the internet. Katt Williams with Club Shay Shay. Oh man, that was a fantastic video. By the way, I watched the whole thing. Um, 2 3 hours of it. I forgot how many long ever was it, but I want to focus on this one. On there, Katt Williams said a lot about other people. I'm not a you know the whole thing about him versus Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, stealing his jokes, whatever. I don't want to delve into that, because I'm more of a movie guy. I'm more of a Hollywood guy. Stand up comedy is not my forte, and you guys may have thoughts about that. Whether or not Cedric stole Cat Williams' jokes, or whether or not Cedric's joke was original, that's none of my business. I want to talk about this one. This one was interesting. Out of the whole stuff that a lot there was a lot to unpack about that interview, right? A lot of stuff, a lot of comments about Kanye West as well. But this one that kind of stood out for me, um, and that's why I posted that poll this past weekend on YouTube to ask you guys: Kevin Hart versus Cat Williams, whose side are you on? A lot of you guys sided with Kevin Hart because you think Kevin Hart is funnier. I get it. Kevin Hart is funny. And funny is subjective. What's funny to me doesn't always mean funny to you, right? That's comedy. Comedy is subjective, like any art. Um, but that's not necessarily the heart of the matter here. It's not about who's funnier. Cat Williams mentioned in his video, which you've already seen, a lot of people and their grandmas have already seen all over the world, is that he said he argued that Kevin Hart is a plant. He argued that Kevin Hart did not earn his way in Hollywood. Kat said Kevin, basically, he implied that Kevin got picked out by Hollywood, got plucked by Hollywood, the studios, and said, okay, you, Kevin Hart, are going to be our token black guy movie star now. Whatever Martin Lawrence did, because before Kevin Hart, it was Martin Lawrence, right? That got all the movie gigs. And before that, it was Eddie Murphy. Whatever Martin Lawrence did, we're gonna do for you now. You're gonna do basically. You're gonna be the next new Martin Lawrence. Um, so that's what Kat is accusing Kevin of being a plant. And what's my reaction to that? Is Kevin Hart a Hollywood plant? Is he an industry plant in Hollywood? Is he somebody who doesn't deserve it, but Hollywood just thinks, you know what, we'll go with them? Is it like that? I don't know, but I would not rule that out. Okay, and here's what I mean by that. Even though what Cat Williams alleging is borderline conspiracy theory, maybe or may not be. There's no. He doesn't bring evidence. He didn't bring any evidence to the table. He didn't bring any facts or proof to Shannon Sharpe that Kevin Hart is a plant. But I can only give you my example from my perspective as a member of the entertainment press and member of the film critics. And by that I mean Hollywood studios do have their favorites. They have their favorites, and they'll stick with their favorites. By that I mean, if they want to choose a number of press to cover their events and to cover their junkets and movies, to interview their talents, and if they decided, you know what, I don't like Rama. I don't like Rama. I don't like his line of questioning. I don't like how he interviews actors. I don't want him interviewing my talents. We're going to leave him out of our list. Then I will be out of their list. And if a studio said, you know what, I like Rama, I like his content, I like the way he interviews talents, and I want him to interview my talents, then I will be on their list. So the idea that Hollywood studio does have the power to choose who they want to market is is not a far-fetched idea. And on that note, I can see that because Kevin Hart, sorry, I think something is my lips there. Kevin Hart is a more marketable brand than Katt Williams, um, because just look at his resume on IMDb. Kevin Hart is a yes man. He's a yes man. Remember that movie with Jim Carrey, Yes Man, that he says yes to everything. He's a yes man. You can argue, oh, that's selling his soul to the devil, whatever you want to argue, like, but saying yes gets him gigs. Saying yes to opportunities gets him money, gets him his own production company eventually. You know, whereas Katt Williams in the interview with Shannon Sharpe, he kept saying, "Oh, I turned down this, yo. I turned down millions of dollars, yo. Um, I turned down this, because of my integrity, because of this." Okay, that's fine. I'm glad you have your integrity. I'm glad you don't sell your soul. You don't sell out. That's cool. You can brag about that. That's your prerogative. But what does that get you? If you keep turning things down, if you keep saying no. So I love both Katt Williams and Kevin Hart. I think why not both? Why not both? Why do I have to pick a team? They're both funny to me. Katt Williams is one of the funniest people on earth. But it's clear from me from this interview. It's clear to me, I'm sorry, from this interview that Katt sounded like a bitter man. Bitter, bitter, bitter man. Now, two things can be true, right? Two things can be true. Um, when Kevin Hart said in that podcast with Charlemagne the God, he said like, yeah, Katt Williams, don't fuck with the studios. That's why the studios don't fuck with him. That's true. That's true. But at the same time, it's when Kevin Hart argues in that podcast, oh yeah, Katt Williams, he doesn't help bring the other comedians under him up with him, up with him. I do that. I bring my other comedians under me up with me. That's true, but at the same time, it's also true that Katt Williams does help other comedians. There's lots of stories now. A lot of comedians have come forward saying, I opened for Katt Williams, and I was broke at the time. I didn't even get paid for opening for him that much. But Katt Williams went to the dressing room and gave me $1,000 in cash. Like, thank you, my man, for opening for me. Stuff like that. So my point is there's not really any bad guy here in this story. There's no antagonist here. So if you say like, oh, Kevin Hart's the bad guy, he's a plant, or if you say, hey, Katt Williams is the bad guy, he's the loser, like, it's more nuanced than that. Okay, it's more nuanced than that. And obviously from all the people that have come forward defending either Kevin Hart and Katt Williams, it's more complicated than that. But back to the point at hand, is Kevin Hart an industry plant? If you look up his resume, he started out 20 years ago, actually, doing a lot of parody movies like Scary Movie 4, Scary Movie 3, Epic Movie. And remember, Kevin Hart was the best friend in that superhero movie with Drake Bell, a parody about Spider-Man. Remember that? And then for the longest time, he was just doing stand-up. And then he did Modern Family and Workaholics. And then he blew up after Ride Along, the first big non-parody movie, 2014. That's when he blew up. And then after that, he just took off. Stardom, big gigs one after the other, saying yes to every opportunity that came his way. And made his own production company as well. So if Kevin Hart was a plant, then Why did he have to go through the parody movie route? And for the longest time, from 2009 to 2012, 2013, he was just doing minor TV role gigs or just stand up shows. So I don't see that, man. I don't see that. I mean, again, I would not rule that out. Maybe after Ride Along, studios see that as like, okay, okay, this guy can make money for us. Maybe after that, then the studios were like were like open to the possibility of fucking with Kevin Hart as a brand, of doing business with him. Maybe after that, but before that, he was just whatever project he could get his hands on, whatever small role he could get his hands on, he would do it, man. And so, um, I don't want to take that away from him. I don't want to minimize the fact that Kevin Hart is was has always been persistent. It's clear from this resume. I remember that movie, 2010, Death at a Funeral, the American version. He was in that. He was in that too. He was funny in that. So maybe the plant thing, Hollywood favoring Kevin Hart. Maybe that happened only after they saw the success of Ride Along, after Ice Cube took Kevin Hart under his wing. Maybe. But to say that he has been a plant all along, when Kevin Hart has been doing gigs or trying to doing gigs since 2001, that may be incorrect. That may be an exaggeration on Katt Williams' part. Um, by the way, side note, I saw another video of Shannon Sharpe, um, responding to the criticism about his interview with Katt Williams, and he said in the video, he said, I'm not an interviewer. If you want Dateline, go watch Dateline. If you want, Good Morning America, go watch Good Morning America. I'm not an interviewer. I'm a conversationalist. Come on, get out of here, Shannon. That was not a conversation. I saw the video. I watched the video. A conversation would be if it's equal, level-handed between the two of you. A conversation would be if half of the video would be about you, Shannon Sharpe, telling about yourself or talking about yourself. No, the video was about just Shannon asking question and Katt Williams answering questions. That's an interview. Call it what you want. That's an interview. That's not a conversation. It's not, it's not back and forth. Katt was doing most of the talking and Shannon was doing most of the asking. So get out of here with that conversation. It's an interview. And it's an interview. And you know what you're doing, Shannon. You know what you're doing. You're trying to, I get it. And I don't blame you. You're a businessman. You're a businessman. So, when Shannon said like, oh, I didn't know that was going to blow up. I didn't know that was going to go viral. You were hoping that that's going to get viral. You're hoping you're going to be laughing all the way to the bank with that YouTube money. Okay. You're like, yeah, finally, I got, because he's been like gunning for Katt Williams. He said it himself. He's been gunning for Katt Williams' interview since late 2022 because he knows, or he knew Katt Williams is gonna be the moneymaker, man. As opposed to these other guys that he's been interviewing. So come on, let's just be real. Let's keep it real. Put our cards on the table. That was an interview, not a conversation, and you don't mind it at all. You don't mind the controversy. In fact, you separate all the videos by segments of the controversies because each topic, either Kanye West or Cedric, Katt Williams saying this about Cedric, Katt Williams saying this about Kanye. Each segment, each video will make money for you. So let's just keep it real. Keep it real. You're a businessman. So, get off of your high horse. So back to Katt Williams accusing Kevin Hart being a plant. I personally, I just don't see that Kevin Hart was a plant from the beginning. Maybe after Ride Along, he was a favorite of the studio. But is that a bad thing? No. No, he's not a bad thing. Kevin Hart looks out for his business, for his brand. That's actually good. That's a good thing. Whereas Katt Williams, Sure, good for you, Cat. Integrity, good for you, whatever. But if you keep saying no, turning down shit, then what does that get you? And at the same time, let's be real. Between you and me, Katt Williams is a one-trick pony in the movies. Okay, what does he usually play? A pimp. That's what he always plays. A pimp. You know, even when he's a Santa Claus, he's like pimp kind of Santa Claus. He's a one-trick pony. And now we're gonna have Kevin Hart playing the mastermind in a heist thriller in the upcoming movie Lift. You know, can we see Katt Williams doing that kind of role? We can't, because Katt Williams only is a one trick pony. Again, I'm not belittling him. Again, I'm a big fan of Katt Williams. I'm a big fan of Kevin Hart. I like both of them, and at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, this whole bickering, this whole nasty banters, or not banters, yeah, bickering, this whole taking shots at each other. You know, it's all just it's good old rivalry, good old competition. You know, the same thing we see athletes against athletes, or whatever field of industry you want to use as comparison. So, but I don't think they're gonna patch up, man. This is it. I think this. I think they're gonna be enemies for life unless some miracle happened that one of them says sorry to each other. But I don't think that's gonna happen. So yeah, Hollywood does have their favorites. Conclusion: Hollywood does have their favorites, and if you're not a favorite of them, like some studios just don't like me, you know, then there's nothing I can do about it. I can only collaborate with people that want to work with me, just like anything in life. I'm not gonna be groveling or begging like, oh, please, 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 have me be your favorite, please. Can I be your favorite? But if an opportunity comes by, I'll do my best not to turn them down like Katt Williams does. I don't want to be I don't want to end up like Katt Williams either. I'm a yes man only to a certain degree. I'm only a yes man to when I can discern or judge for myself whether or not this project is benefiting me in some ways. I will say yes to those. I'm not going to say no to those. So, but yeah, but at the same time, I'm not going to be begging at all. So there's that. It's a balance thing. It's a balancing issue. So Dominic, thank you so much. Yeah, studios should like Rama Screen, right? I know, right? What's not to like about me? Come on. I'm a happy-go-lucky guy. All right, that's it. Those are my thoughts about Katt Williams and Kevin Hart. What do you think about this issue or this topic? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, subscribe. Let's rock this.